And we are back.
Hello.
Hey.
Alright. So, where we last left off, things went down, I guess.
Yeah, they took a very interesting turn.
Look at their faces.
Time to get out of here.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'm staring. Look at Deb. He's like, I'm staring at the road.
I'm going to get us the hell out of here. While Cameron's like, maybe I should go back and say hi to the ghost.
No, I'm more of a
I hope they're not
pissed everything off.
following
Yeah, right?
us.
Please don't hurt me. So with that.
Yep.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Cameron watches as the motel parking lot disappears into the night.
Oh crap, I thought I clicked it.
They had left most of their stuff behind in the room, only bringing along what they absolutely needed.
My social security card!
It's like, oh crap, I knew I left my passport.
My medical insurance, a birth certificate!
Lol.
Why did you bring that with you to the haunted town?
Well, how will we ever have a lantern now?
Cameron had wanted to take it a bit slower, to think things over before running away like this. But weirdly enough, it was Devon that was ushering him out as quickly as he could. Well, no. It made sense. What was truly weird was how Cameron had felt, and how he still feels now. Despite what had just happened, despite the absolute horror of it all, there's a part of Cameron that still wants to stay. Cameron has to assume that this is nothing like what Dev had seen in his previous investigations. That maybe he also felt that overwhelming feeling of wrongness. But it also feels wrong to just leave after hearing what he had heard. He'd expected Dev to want to stay after Cameron told him about Lupita. And if Dev had asked him to stay, Cameron would have done so, if only to search for better closure after hearing her scream.
Also, I just finally put two and two together. Cameron recognized Lupita's voice, so he has to have known her when she was alive, too. So she must have died within the past 5 years.
Okay. Wow.
So then he also understands the motivation and why it's important.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like ghost hunters, right?
Whoever Lupita is, she must have at least been known by both of them. I feel like it's Devon who has a strong relationship with Lupita, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, because Devon asks.
Oh,
Devon asks before Cameron speaks.
Oh, okay.
Despite Dev's calm appearance, Cameron knows that his mind must be in turmoil right now. Now, with the night ending like this, he thinks that maybe he shouldn't have told Dev what he heard. Yeah, he promised to be honest about it, but this hallucination, no, the vision, felt like a lie somehow, a trick. It felt real, it happened, but it also felt like something nefarious was behind it all.
Mm-hmm.
He felt it when the wolf focused on him, as if that unseen something had taken the wheel and started steering things where it wanted them to go. Even if he had no idea what that something could be, Cameron hopes that's the case. The alternative is that the afterlife really is only suffering, and that would mean his mother is in the same place. That everyone's going to that place. Cameron squirms in a seat, the feeling of a suffocating dread creeping up under his neck. Drowning forever. Cameron suddenly turns to look at his boyfriend, unable to deal with the awkward silence any longer.
Devin?
Devin tilts his head slightly in Cameron's direction, brows raised to show he's listening.
Yeah, honey?
He doesn't take his eyes off the road. Either because it's nighttime, or, more likely, because of what they just dealt with. The bear is being extra cautious. Still, there's a sense of urgency in his driving, like he's trying to get out of there as fast as he can. Cameron struggles to find the right words.
Hey, let's talk when I get off the freeway, okay? I just gotta focus right now.
Cameron can't wait until then.
Are we coming back?
Cameron sees Dev's brows rise again, this time in surprise.
No, of course not. We're done. I'm an idiot for doing this in the first place. And again, I'm sorry.
Cameron can't quash the feeling that he should be the one apologizing right now.
But
there's a theme park in Peyton called Southwest Adventures. I thought about going there at the end of our investigation, but we could do that tomorrow instead.
Dev pauses, apparently waiting for a response. But Cameron can't think of one to give him.
I think it could be fun.
Cameron is almost certain that's the same word Devin used just before they left to describe how this investigation would feel.
Got a messed up sense of fun.
I mean, just theme parks and, hauntings and possessions. No big deal.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Theme parks and possessions. Yay!
I just like the idea of Devin on a roller coaster with a little girl with her head turning around 360 degrees. Whee!
Yeah! I just like things that make me scream, okay?
Makes me feel alive.
Oh my God. Fun.
I think we need to come back. We can't just leave things like that. That was just so fucked.
Cameron sees Dev grit his teeth, and the coyote feels himself recoil a bit. Like he did on a daily basis with Dylan.
Sorry,
No, you're fine. I'm just having trouble seeing the goddamn road. Let's just leave it until I can see where I'm going, okay, hon?
The coyote steels himself. He shouldn't ever feel afraid of Devin. He didn't need to.
I think we should come back tomorrow. Keep this going like you planned. There's something more to this, and I want to help find out what it is.
He says it firmly, in a way that he hopes shows Devin that he's not completely fragile, even if he did break down in the motel room. But Devin is quiet, and Cameron feels himself start to get a little frustrated that he's being ignored. But then the bear responds.
No, I don't think so. I'll probably come back, but with another psychic. I'm not going to put you through that ever again.
Despite knowing Dev meant nothing by that, Cameron feels offended, like Devin doesn't think he's good enough or strong enough to do this.
But I want to, especially if you're just gonna come back. You think I'm gonna just sit home knowing you're back out in this hellhole?
Listen, Cameron, I've been to a lot of haunted places, but there's something different about this town that feels really off. Fucked, like you say, and I don't want you anywhere near it.
Now it's Cameron who grits his teeth.
But I want to.
Do you still want it?
I know you need to find answers, but after feeling what I felt, I need answers too.
Dev's careful maneuvering along the broken road hits a pothole and the interior shakes. Devon winces.
Babe, please, let's talk about this later. I just want to get to Peyton safely right now.
And just like that, Cameron's determination dries up. He hates himself for being such a coward. Things had always felt unequal in their relationship, but it was rare for Dev to just say it out loud, to tell the coyote what's good for him, even though Cameron told him what he wanted. It's nothing like it was with Dylan, but the feeling is similar, and Cameron doesn't like that.
Wait, freeze right there.
Okay.
Who was doing the talking when he had the possession? Was it Dev or was it titled Dylan?
No, it was titled Dev.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was something claiming to be Dev, because remember, it was definitely like Dev's.
It was definitely not Dev.
It was Dev's voice, but not Dev. It was not Dev's voice.
That's why I voiced it like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it brought up Dylan, though, in there, saying, like, if I had treated you like shit for the past 5 years, you still would have stuck by me, because that's the type of person you are.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
And it sounds
Because
like...
it brought up Dylan at one point,
yeah,
I remember.
It sounds like Dylan was an abusive ex, in my
Correct.
opinion.
Well, no, it literally said he punched him, right? Yeah.
Well, what if I don't want you to come back here either?
Devon takes a deep breath, but manages to keep calm.
Then we can talk about it when we're safely back home.
Cameron goes quiet again. They're halfway past the lake, the body of water looking like a giant dark pit, except where the moon glitters on its surface. And that's when Cameron sees something out of the corner of his eye. There's something on the road between two craters of broken asphalt.
Oh, gosh.
Cameron stares for several seconds, not sure if he's seeing what he thinks he's seeing.
Oh, no.
I like that music. He waits for Devon to say something, to wonder what the hell that is in front of them. But he says nothing, almost like he didn't see it. Yet, there it is, right in front of them.
Not ready for this.
And it's right where Devon is about to go, and the bear isn't stopping. Cameron manages to jerk himself out of his stunned daze.
Oh my god, Dev, look!
Huh?
Dev finally looks at Cameron, his eyes off the road, and still the Jeep moves forward.
Stop!
Why wasn't he stopping? The coyote does the first thing that comes to his mind. Time slows down. It's just like what happened back in high school, right before he got hit by a car while skateboarding. He has more time to react now than he did then, though, and he slides his arm under his seatbelt to get free and reaches across the center console. He grabs the wheel, and even though Dev is starting to brake, it's not fast enough, and they're less than 20 feet away from hitting it. The coyote doesn't even think, acting on pure instinct. Cameron turns the wheel to the right, hard.
Yeah.
So remember how I said it was too late last time? Wasn't gonna be Dev's fault.
Devon can't comprehend what Cameron's doing before they hit something, and the jolt is far worse than any pothole he'd hit on the road. Devon is thrown into his seatbelt. In the back of his mind, he'd been aware that Cameron was half out of his own seatbelt. Driven by what felt like pure reflex, Devon had thrown his arm across the coyote in an attempt to hold him back. Cameron's muzzle meets the bear's thick arm before his forearm smacks into the screen of the head unit. A numbing, tingling feeling explodes across his entire arm.
Ah, fuck!
Dev brings his arm to his chest, cradling it as he winces.
Are you alright?
Cameron's breathless voice next to him is enough to reassure Dev that the coyote isn't seriously injured. The airbags hadn't even deployed, even though the impact had felt serious.
Yeah. My funny bone, what about you? Let me see your face.
Dev tries to grab Cameron's muzzle to have a closer look at him. It's hard to see with only the glow of the Jeep's headlights, now dim from the swirling dust kicked up by the accident. But Cameron pulls away, opening his door to get out.
Cameron, what?
The coyote yelps as he seems to lose his footing immediately and falls hard.
Cam?
Dev unbuckles his seatbelt and almost tries to climb out Cameron's side of the Jeep. Then, realizing what he's doing, opens his own door. Dust coats his mouth, and immediately he can still see Echo from here. He knew this was going to happen. That something was going to prevent them from getting out. He could feel it since he started driving. He just didn't expect Cameron to be the one to do it.
Something's gonna stop me. I just gotta wait, babe, not you.
I love it.
The Jeep is tilted forward, the front wheels wedged into a deep trench, carved out by years of flooding along the edge of the road. Dev stumbles around the front of the Jeep, squinting against the headlights before looking down where Cameron had fallen, but he only sees blackness.
Cameron?
He starts to panic, seriously considering that the coyote could have fallen into a sinkhole, but then...
Over here.
Dev looks back towards the road, the dust finally clearing, and sees that Cameron is already there, standing in the middle of it, looking around confused like he lost something.
What the fuck are you doing?
Dev stumbles back around the Jeep, just wanting to get the coyote back inside so he doesn't go off running somewhere. The bear already suspects that Cameron is having a mental breakdown, and if they don't get the hell out of there soon, Dev thinks he might just join him.
I saw someone.
Cameron, slow down. Let me see your face. It almost broke my arm.
No. I know I did.
Cameron ignores Dev's paws that are reaching out toward him and starts walking up the road, looking back and forth.
Cam! Ugh.
The stress of the accident, on top of seeing his boyfriend walking back toward the evil town, is too much for the bear. He grabs Cameron's arm, forcing him to turn around fully and face.
What the hell are you doing?
Cameron flinches and raises his arms up, crossing one wrist over the other, covering his face like he thinks Dev is going to...
Cameron, what?
But the coyote just lowers his arms, looking around again.
I saw something. Someone. It was like a little kid sitting on the road. Didn't you see them?
Devin just wants to ask why Cameron acted like he was going to hit him, but the coyote is in such clear distress, the bear isn't sure what to say.
So, I think that that Devin doesn't know that Cameron was in an abusive relationship.
I was going to say, yeah, because if he did, then he wouldn't have done a lot of those things. Oops, myself on the way. I'll grab it.
Oh, okay.
Then Cameron looks at the Jeep, as if seeing what had happened for the first time.
Shit! I didn't mean to crash your car. I swear I saw someone, and I wouldn't do that on purpose.
Cameron's breaths start to become erratic, gasping for air.
Honey, come here.
I can't breathe.
Dev wraps his arms around the coyote, even as he starts to try and pull away.
Let go. I need to go.
Listen, Cameron. Breathe with me.
Dev presses the side of Cameron's head to his chest and takes a deep breath.
Remember In and out. Slowly.
Devon keeps his voice upbeat, his expression cheerful, the complete opposite of what he's actually feeling right now.
So I just realized something that I wanted to share that has nothing to do with what's going on at the moment, but I finally just put 2 and 2 together about the character sprites. Cameron's been wearing green the entire time, Devon's been wearing red the entire time. At first, like, it didn't make a lot of sense, but, like, I think there's some symbolism behind their color choices, at least. Because now they're at this point, Devon wants to stop, wants them to leave, Cameron wants them to continue.
Yep.
Huh.
Maybe that's part of it. The other thing I'm thinking is that, like, it feels like they've got 2/3 of a color trio. And I think that might be like what Lupita may have been. She may have been like the third of the color trio at least. So I think that maybe her color is going to be like blue or something. Or maybe it's like yellow.
Gotcha. It might be.
But then again, I might also just be overthinking this. I'm just like, oh, I'm seeing symbolism in the colors now.
Maybe. Who knows? But showing how distressed he was clearly wasn't helping the situation. So this breathing exercise is also for his benefit. The last time they'd done this was at least a few years ago now. And just like last time, it seems to work. The coyote fighting his gasping for a minute, before his breathing becomes more steady, albeit a little shaky. They breathe in unison for a few minutes, the bear stroking Cameron's head like he had only half an hour ago in the motel room. Was it really only 2 hours ago that he'd been giddy at the thought of a paranormal investigation with his psychic boyfriend?
Also, I think for recordings, that is actually 2 hours.
It's about right.
I like that the sense of time is actually pretty accurate.
Yeah. Finally, Cameron pulls away gently.
I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. You said you thought you saw someone.
I thought I did. I didn't mean to fuck up your car, though.
Well, if you thought you saw someone, then I'm glad you did that. Considering how slow we were going, I'd rather be a car run into dirt than run into somebody. Now just hold on a second so I can check you out. You face planted into my arm pretty hard back there.
Dev gently turns Cameron toward the headlights of the still running car, lightly running his blunt claws through the fur.
I thought it was an otter. I could see the tail and everything. So, having read a little bit more about Echo, that's something that's going to pop up in Echo. So,
an otter.
everything that Cameron's seeing, I think, is something that's a thing from Echo.
Nice.
Which, like, I didn't know about that the first time I went through this in my regular test. And for our first recording session, I didn't know about this otter kid nearby the lake, but that's something that's actually important in Echo.
Nice.
It's actually a very big plot point in Echo, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, so... From
Nice.
the little bit that I've seen, so...
Okay.
For me, I'm just picturing driving in a country road. You always end up running into something on the road.
Well, remember, all animals are people in this world,
Yes.
so... It's basically like you're driving down the road and you see like an 8-year-old in the middle of the road out
Oh
of
man,
nowhere.
that'd be so terrifying.
That would-
That's what Cameron was seeing.
Yeah.
One of Devon's claws grazes over a small lump under Cameron's fur on the bridge of his snout, and the coyote winces.
Does that hurt?
Oh, a little bit. I didn't even notice until just now.
That's probably from my elbow.
What about your arm? Are you sure it's alright?
Cameron starts doing his own check of Devon's arm.
Dude, my arm is Ow!
The bear yelps as Cameron prods right into a spot that was suddenly becoming very sore.
Did that really hurt that much?
Not really. Just surprised me.
Really?
Yep, see? Bending it without pain.
Yeah, I believe you. Just be careful with it.
Cameron sighs, looking back at the Jeep.
I'm going crazy.
The relief Devon had felt after seeing Cameron returning to his usual snarky self deflates at those words.
What? You're not, you're just... We're both on edge right now.
Well, it really did feel like I was losing my mind for a minute there. Thanks for helping me.
Of course. Now, just gotta check out the damage.
Yeah, the back wheels aren't even touching the ground.
Well, I'll have a better look. Hang tight, babe.
Alright.
Devon starts to analyze the status of his Jeep, and he can tell right away that they aren't going anywhere. Both front wheels are almost buried in the sandy trench below, and both of the back wheels are definitely off the ground, the undercarriage balanced on the road's edge. Still, Dev gets in, and after telling Cam to stand clear, very gently tries to back out. The bear winces at the scraping sounds from the metal undercarriage, realizing how desperate he is to try to get out of here, considering how hopelessly stupid this attempt is.
So the only thing I can compare this with is the one time I got into a ditch once. But it was like due to black ice. I legit stopped at a stop sign, started to go, and my tires immediately caught on black ice. So I drove into a ditch at like 5 miles per hour.
Oh,
and
gosh.
it was just like I guess this is happening now. As I slowly drifted off the road, and I'm like, I can't do anything to stop this. Bye.
Yep.
Yep.
I've spun out once, and yeah, you're like, oh well, guess this is left, right, thunk. Oh well.
Yeah, because like once I got into the ditch, like I knew like immediately like, okay, yeah, my car's here for now. I'm gonna need a tow truck to get out of here. And it
I'm
was
surprised though. This guy's got a Jeep. Come on, this is what they're built for.
Yeah, like that's one of the things I'm wondering about is like, could he and like Cameron put enough weight on like the back and everything to get the wheels to touch the ground again or something? But maybe probably not.
I mean, probably, but plot.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
It is
that's the
after
other
all a
thing.
Jeep. They're built to like do this.
And they're also really freaked out right now.
Yeah, right. They're on edge.
So even if potentially they could figure it out, like their mind isn't totally in that right space.
That's true too. Then again, I also admit, despite coming from a family that ran an auto repair business, I know nothing about cars because I don't care much for cars either.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things of like I recognize this is the family business. I also recognize I don't want it.
Nope.
Get me out of the family business. I don't want this thing.
Yeah, eventually my grandparents actually sold the repair shop and everything because they were like, nah, we don't want any of our kids picking this business up. We want them all to do things outside of auto repair.
After realizing he's only spinning the wheels deeper into the dirt, he stops. The bear turns off the engine, sighing and pressing his head against the steering wheel. Yeah, it sucked that his Jeep was probably all fucked up now, but he could easily afford another one.
I mean, yeah, considering he's got a 6-digit salary.
Yep, and he's an engineer, so, you know.
Cha-ching.
Build one from scratch, is that what you're suggesting?
No, I'm just saying engineers make 6-figure salaries.
Oh, yeah.
More than anything, he just wanted to be out of Echo.
All the STEM degrees and science and 6-figure salaries can't get you out of here now. Not with your music-loving boyfriend.
Lols.
Lols.
He thinks back on how strange it was that Cameron immediately tried to convince him that he didn't do it on purpose. Devon didn't need to be convinced because he hadn't even considered that was the case. But because of how he brought it up,
It's only suspicious when you bring it up.
It's true, though.
Devon quickly shuts that down, deciding that now isn't the time for shitty thoughts like that. Finally, the bear gets out, fixing a smile on his face again so Cameron won't feel so bad.
All right, so Cameron?
Dev looks around, and to his dismay, spots a coyote a ways up the road, toward Echo again, though he's standing off to the side right next to the lake. He's looking over the edge, down at the water.
Hey, Cameron, you alright?
The bear jogs up to the coyote, putting an arm around him.
You alright?
Cameron finally turns to look at the bear.
Yeah.
Stay next to me, alright? I want you to be as close after everything that's happened.
I was just trying to stay out of the way.
Are you looking for something?
Dev looks over the edge at the murky water below. Almost immediately after, the bear instinctively pulls back, taking Cameron with him.
Yeah. Just thought that because otters are good swimmers that maybe.
Cameron lets out a fake laugh.
Sorry, I'm crazy. Don't mind me.
Come on, don't do that.
Cameron goes quiet. Seeing just how unhappy Cameron is, the bear takes a deep breath, deciding to tell him.
Also, I finally put two and two together from back at the beginning. Didn't Devon's little imagination for if he had turned left instead of right involve him getting married to Cameron?
Maybe.
Didn't they say
Yeah.
that they'd get married by like a house or something someday?
Yeah.
So I think that Devon actually was planning on proposing to Cameron at some point soon.
Aww.
I just finally put that together that like his little future vision had them as husbands.
Aww.
Be very sweet.
I don't know why that took me so long to like realize that that's what that was meaning.
Back in the early 2000s, an otter kid drowned in this lake. I wonder if maybe that's who you saw.
So I can tell you that is exactly what is going on Echo.
Oh, wow.
It takes place in 2015. Your characters all grew up in Echo, and they're in their early 20s by 2015. So naturally, during the early 2000s, they would have been maybe in like the low 10s or before 10.
They would have maybe even known the kid.
Yeah, that kid is actually somewhat plot relevant for Echo, at least.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Really?
Yeah, along with a few dozen other people over the last 70 years, I have a list for the lake and for the other places we were gonna go.
So you're saying I saw that because I'm psychic? You don't seem very thrilled with that idea.
I'm not thrilled with any of this anymore.
It only reminds Dev that Cameron could see anything, terrible things, and that could lead to more mental anguish for his boyfriend.
Anyway, we are stuck pretty badly.
What do we do?
Don't worry, we got options. We'd want to go to the highway, but it's a bit of a walk. I think about 4 or 5 miles. That might be a bit too much with it being dark and the half-destroyed road. I think we should try to get a bit of sleep, then start walking at dawn. We'll have light, and if we keep up a good pace, we'll be on the highway before it gets too hot and be able to flag down help.
Cameron is quiet.
So what do you think?
Remember a while back when I asked what we'd do if there was an emergency? You said that there was still self-service in parts of the town.
Did I?
Yeah, Dev. You know what I'm talking about. It makes way more sense to find self-service right next to us and call for help rather than walk 5 miles.
I don't think it makes much sense at all, Cameron.
We were looking for trouble, Devon. I think we'll be fine as long as I'm not trying to see shit.
But you just saw...
It's silent for a few excruciating seconds.
Ugh, I just want to get the fuck out of here and get you home.
Cameron's ears twitch as Dev raises his voice, which seems to reverberate in the silence. But the coyote just goes on standing there, arms crossed like they almost always were.
Yeah, psychic or not, I'm unstable. We both know that already.
No.
But I'm not walking miles through scorpion and rattlesnake-infested desert when our solution is right there.
Babe, please. I have a bad feeling.
Sorry, who's the psychic here? Dev, I can do this, trust me. We're outside where nothing's haunted, and we won't be looking for anything, so I'm going.
Cameron!
I prefer if you came with me, though.
God damn it.
Devin hurries to catch up with his boyfriend, sliding his paw into Cameron's and gripping it tightly. Cameron has a look on his face like he's a bit pleased with himself, and Devin can't figure out why. It's like the coyote thinks he's winning some kind of game, and Devin has to grit his teeth so he doesn't start an argument all over again. Just an hour ago, Cameron was sobbing after seeing and hearing terrible things, and now he's walking back in the same direction like it's nothing. Maybe the coyote is more resilient than the bear had always thought. And maybe the bear is finding out how not resilient he himself is. His stomach growls loudly, and when Cameron jokingly asks if he's hungry, Devin lies and says yes. In reality, it's from anxiety, something he isn't used to feeling all that often.
Oh man, I understand that feeling though. Like, whenever I get really anxious, my stomach starts messing things up for me, and it feels like I need to throw up.
Yeah. That's pretty... The bear only finds comfort in gripping Cameron's paw even tighter, and promising himself that he won't let anything else bad happen to them.
I'm starting to feel a little warm. I'm gonna check the temperature in here to make sure it's not too hot. Alright, I'm gonna turn on the fan.
Okay.
Audio quality be dang. This is already 76 in here.
It's not the hottest 76, but it is. It's because yesterday it's been like 100 degrees, so.
Oh yeah, no. That's why I'm like, we should probably turn on the fan before it hits 80.
Yep.
Because I turned off the fan, it was 72, so we've gone 4 degrees up.
Jeez. Yep, that makes sense.